we are moving on to 7.2, which is going to talk about properties of exponential functions. When we talk about the properties, that simply means, are we going to move right? Are we going to move left? Are we going to go up? Are we going to go down? Are we going to stretch? Are we going to compress? When are we going to flip? All right, same things we already know, right? Awesome. So if our parent function is y equals ab to the x. Again, reminding you that a is our initial y-intercept, right? So on your worksheet today, I'm getting there. Accept? All right. On your worksheet today, one of the things I'm going to ask you to do is state whether it's growth or decay, because we got to keep practicing that. I want you to state what the initial y-intercept is, which is always going to be that 0a. Now when we translate it, the y-intercept is going to change, but it originally started as 0a. All right? Now, usually we're used to that front number being your stretch or compress, and it really is that, because technically if that was 1, whatever a is going to make it stretch up the y-axis to that new y-intercept. So we're not going to consider a stretch or compress today. We're just going to call it the y-intercept, or the initial y-intercept. From this parent function, if I have in the exponents y equals ab to the x plus or minus h, tell me what h does. Nope, if it's in with x, it is the right or left. Okay? So, for example, remember you can set this equal to 0 and determine which way it's moving, right? If I set this equal to 0, however h is what it is. So, if I have y equals ab to the x minus 3, if I take this x minus 3, set it equal to 0, x equals 3. This really means it's moving to the right 3. Okay? Questions on that? So if I had y equals ab to the x plus 3, that's moving to the left 3. All right. What if I had y equals ab to the x plus k? Yes. K represents your up or down. Up or down. And of course, if I make an if a is negative or a is less than 0, that means that we flip over the x-axis. All right, so here's what I'm looking for today. And again, I told you guys since the beginning, right? If you learn these translation rules, it's going to work for everything, and it's going to make your life easier later, right? Okay, so example number 1. This is what I need you to do. I need you to first state if growth or decay, then I want you to state the initial y-intercept and then describe the translation. so let's say I give you y equals 3. I'm going to request that we leave our phones in our lockers because it makes it very difficult to record a video when your phones are going off, okay? All right, so we have 3 times, let's say I have 0.75 to the x minus 7. Is that number in the parentheses greater than 1? So this is going to be a decay. So first thing we're going to say it's a decay. The initial y-intercept. Good. Good job. The initial y-intercept is 0, 3. And then how does this translate? Good. So you'll notice the only thing that changed is we have a number in that exponent with x. So Jared's right. This is going to go to the right 7. And that's all I'm asking you to do today, is to describe those things. Okay? On your worksheet, in case I don't have time to explain that in a little bit, the last 4 problems, I did not mean to put graph the function. I want you to do the same thing for all of them. Okay? So I want you to do this exact same thing for the entire worksheet. You just got to describe it. Okay? If you were to graph something like this, right, it would technically start as a decay going through right here. This is what the initial graph would look like. Now, when I move this graph to the right 7, and I go this direction 7, it's going to move way over here. So no longer is my y-intercept going to be 0, 3, right? That's why we call it the initial y-intercept. But you don't need to graph today, because what would you guys actually do if I asked you to graph something that's like got a lot going on? You would grab your technology, right? You'd use your calculator, absolutely, and that's what technology is for. So let's try another one. Same idea, all right? We're going to, let's say I have, for example, number 2. Again, I want you to state if it's a growth or decay, state the initial y-intercept, and then describe the translation. So let's go with y equals 2 times 1.7 to the x, and then let's go plus 5. It would be a growth. Very good. This is a growth. Good. 0, 2 is your initial y-intercept. Up 5. Very good. What is the difference between those two, you guys? Right. If it's going to go right or left, it has to be in the exponent with x. Up or down is on the with the rest of the equation. All right? Okay, how about one more? Sample number 3. Say I have y equals negative 2. 5 to the x plus 1 minus 4. All right, so this one's a little bit trickier. First of all, it's a growth. I totally agree. This is growth. Now, when we talk about the initial y-intercept, I do not want the negative included. What does the negative do? It flips it. So our initial y-intercept is still at 0, 2. Now let's describe the translation. The negative, you guys said, is a flip over x. Good. It is because this plus 1 is in the exponent. This is left 1. Good. And down 4. Awesome, you guys. Questions? No, we're all good with the translation rules, right? And I don't have any tricky ones on here at all. It should be pretty easy. All right. I only talked for 10 minutes.